Throwing to be fettered by Samartex. Another throw in the winner, another throw in the process. Mary Kwasi finds a colleague in the process. Amilad is moving a long drive. To nobody in particular, goalkeeper Mary will grab down comfortably for Samartex ladies. Finds the skipper, Salamatu Muhammad. Salamatu sends a long one. A header by Brefa. Patience Ajete finds Abrefa. Abrefa sends a long one. A header by Salamatu. Samartex winning the throw in that process. Elizabeth Aduma. Godwell finds a colleague in the process, switches play, looking out for an opportunity, but Abrefa is there. Good clearance by goalkeeper Esther Sapon for Army Ladies. Boys at the center circle. A great play, and referee Ajadwan to be a free kick in favor of Samartex, to the displeasure of the players of Army Ladies. Alamisi, Atampaga, they cooperate. On this occasion, free kick in favor of Samartex. Salamatu. And referee sports an infringement in favor of Samartex, of Army Ladies in their own half. If you just joined, this is the semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup between Samartex Ladies and Army Ladies. And this is the first game. At exactly 4 p.m., we're going to have the second game. And then that's going to be between Hazaka Ladies, then also Jobina Ladies. Kindly, it is Army Ladies. They are playing so well. Salamatu for Samartex finds a colleague in the process. This is Jennifer Aka. Samartex moving. Another opportunity. Samartex Ladies. Mary Kwashi. The header. And finally, Army Ladies will clear their lines. Goalkeeper Mary finds a colleague in the process. Samartex trying to initiate an attack. Yusuf Basigi very, very frustrated. He's not comfortable with the performance of her ladies, of his ladies. Yusuf Basigi, very experienced manager when it comes to women's football in Ghana. Now the man in charge of Samartex Ladies as the manager. He has had an amazing stint with the Black Princesses of Ghana, then also Azaka Ladies. It is a cooling break at this juncture. And so the two teams they're going to get an opportunity to refresh and get some pep talk from their managers. So far, it has been a very cagey encounter, with Samartex Ladies slightly on top, because they'll be able to create some goal scoring opportunities. Thumbs up to the goalkeeper imposed for Army Ladies. Esther Sapon for that amazing display, 7 Army Ladies in this very game. It is a cooling break here at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It is still deadlock. Samartex Ladies 0, Army Ladies 0. In the first game of the Women's FA Cup, happening live at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. And so Coach Yusuf Basigi will grab this opportunity to issue out some instructions to his charges. Same as the manager in charge of Amelellis. The few fans at the stadium are having a good time. Drumming and dancing. And so the break is over. We are continuing with the game. With that, exactly 32 minutes on the clock. It is the first half of the Women's FA Cup involving Samartex ladies. Delaso Army ladies. Referee spots an infringement. And that is going to be in favor of Army ladies in the area of Samartex ladies. There goes the referee's whistle. Free kick to be effected. A long drive into the 18-yard box of Samartex. A header. Still danger looming. Army ladies still in possession. And the ball raised majestically over the touchline. It is a throw in favor of Army ladies. To be effected by Atabrefi. Abrefi says a long one. First, a colleague in the process. A long drive. But nobody in particular still danger looming in the 18-yard box of Samartex. And finally, they will clear their lines. A great job done by Abigail Akwete. Sandra Akoto. Samartex. Adjo Elizabeth says a long one, looking for a colleague in the process. An opportunity for Samartex. An opportunity. Godwill. Stay in possession. And she has been dispossessed of the ball. Great job done by the defenders of Army ladies. Angelica Sambik has done a great job. And Army ladies will turn defense to attack. Army ladies. Great play. Patience Akwe is the corporate free kick in favor of Samartex in their own half. It is a free kick in favor of Samartex ladies in their own half. It was effected by Salamatu Muhammad, but the ball traverses the touchline. It is a throw in favor of Samartex once again. Catherine Arthur. Harriet Akwoko Ajete. And Akwoko wins the throw in favor of Army ladies. Throw in favor of Army ladies. Halfway the area of Samartex. Sends a long one. There is a foul in the process. So another free kick in favor of Army ladies. The referee was there at the right time and whistles for an infringement in favor of Army ladies. An amazing spectacle. Free kick in favor of Army ladies. A long drive is the 80, but goalkeeper is out. An opportunity. And referee whistles for an infringement in favor of the goalkeeper. That was a beautiful drive into the 80 of Samartex. But the goalkeeper was up to the task. Doris. I beg your pardon, it's rather Dinah. She has done a great job, but I can see a player of Army ladies down and play surface. And so referee whistle for a medical attention. Referee Adokwe Rejoice Adokwe Adukwe rejoice. We whistle for the medical team of Army Ladies to attend to the player on the playing surface. Very soon, I'm going to finish you with her name, the player down on the playing surface. For the past 10 minutes, Army Ladies have been very, very promising. They've made their intentions very, very clear in this very game. And tell you what, we've got a great game in our hands. The two teams playing according to where we have starting. Very compact in midfield, swinging their passes together, and very, very quick on the transitions. It tells you that the two managers are working so hard. And I tell you what, we've got a great game in our hands. Finally, Harriet Akwoko Ajete is up. And she's walking off the pitch to receive further medical treatment. Referee say play must continue. Abrefi says a long one, a header by Hassan. This is Army Ladies. Alamisi looking for a collegial process, an opportunity for Army Ladies, an opportunity. And Salamatu, timely intervention. Clearing the ball for Samartex Ladies, still. Abrefi sets a long drive into the 18-yard ball for Samartex, a header goes up. And finally, Samartex will clear their lines. Still danger looming. Army Ladies knocking on the doors of Samartex, a long drive. And goalkeeper, Dinah Maremu will come to the rescue of Samartex Ladies. Zinatu Al-Hassan sets a long one, looking for Lamisi, finds a colleague in the process. Are we going to see a long drive? Army Ladies still knocking on the doors of Samartex Ladies. Free kick in favor of Samartex. Katrinata was impeded by Alamisi, and so it is a free kick in favor of Samartex in their own half. .38 minutes on the clock. Samartex Ladies 0. Army Ladies 0. First half of the Women's FA Cup at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. The intensity of the game is very, very high. Aside from that, it has been a very tactical game. Their ability to score more goals, their free scoring side. A great drive, an opportunity for Army Ladies, there to go. Esther Samoa says a long one. It is a corner kick in favor of Army Ladies. Esther Samoa doing so well to secure a corner kick for Army Ladies. It was a great run by Esther Samoa. She does so well. And tell you what, Army Ladies are gradually coming to the picture. They are gradually coming to the picture. For the past 30 minutes, they've been very, very dominant, knocking on the doors of Samartex Ladies for their first goal in this very game. Corner kick in favor of Army Ladies. Samartex have a corner kick to defend. The shortest one. Zinatu. And ball take care of Zinatu. That's a poor sense of judgment on the part of Zinatu. Patience Adukwe. A long drive, an opportunity. Army Ladies in possession. Army Ladies. And great done. Great job. Great job by the skipper for Samartex Ladies. Salamatu Mohammed doing so well, scoring fullbacks on that occasion. Guiding the ball to safety. And so it is a welcome goal kick in favor of Samartex Ladies. Like I see a player of Samartex down on the playing surface. Inside the center circle. And should be attended to by the medical team of Samartex. If you just join us, it is still deadlock at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. Samartex Ladies 0, Army Ladies 0. It is the first semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup. And tell you what, we're having a great time at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It has been an end-to-end staff. The two teams playing according to where rehearsed pattern. And the stakes are very, very high. Zinatu. Amileli's moving. Esther Samoa. Esther finds a colleague in the process. This is Abrefi for Amileli's. Abrefi finds a colleague. Naomi Duku. Duku sends a long one. Back to Patience Adukwe. She has been brought down. Patience Ajete has been brought down. So this is a free kick in favor of Amileli's. And gradually, they are digging deeper into the vital area of Samartex. Patience Adukwe, Ajete. It is a free kick in favor of Amileli's to be affected by Naomi Duku. Duku sends a long drive. A header. And to nobody in particular, it's a welcome goal kick in favor. Rather a corner kick in favor of Amileli's. Corner kick in favor of Amileli's. And they've been a better team for the past 13 minutes, playing so well. Such a lot of questions for Samartex. A long drive. An opportunity is the goal! That is the first goal. That is the first goal. I saw it coming. I told you. Amileli's are playing so well. They are knocking on the doors of Samartex, swinging their passes together. And finally, here we are. The deadlock has been broken. It is Amileli's who have their noses in front in this very game. They are up by a goal, courtesy Alamisi Atampaga. It was a sweet drive by Adama Hassan and well connected by Atampaga. That's a beautiful goal by our standard. Corner kick well taken by Adama Hassan, well connected by Alamisi Atampaga, registering the first goal for Amileli's. And so if you just join us, it is Samartex 0, Amileli's 1 in the first semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup. Amileli's there to go. And Kofosian wins a corner kick for Amileli's once again. For now, Amileli's have their feet firmly on the accelerator and they're dictating the pace of the game. They are kindly dictating the pace of the game, playing so well. Asking a lot of questions about the Samartex team. Yusuf Basigi will have a lot of questions to answer. After this very half, Samartex starts so well, but lost their momentum, and for now it is Amileli's who are playing so well. They've managed to score a first goal in this very game. Corner kick in favor of Amileli's. And that was a poor one from Zinatu Al Hassan. Salamatu Muhammad. Mary Sapon. Amileli's in our possession. A great ball, a strike! And goalkeeper Dinah will grab that one. Amileli's still asking questions, playing so well. Combining effectively at the vital area of Samartex. And tell you what, kindly they are a team to watch. Amileli's playing so well. Abrefa sets a long one. Goalkeeper Dinah to the rescue of Samartex ladies. Sets a long one. Mary Sapon traps the ball so well. Poor pass from Mary. Abrifa. I mean, ladies moving right now. Now Biduku. Such a long drive. Good save by the goalkeeper. I mean, ladies asking all the questions at this juncture, playing so well. They've been very, very effective. Walking through the road to this very semi-finals. Army Ladies is a free scoring side. They love to score more goals. And in the last 25 minutes of this very game, it has been evident. Army Ladies moving right again. The touch was too heavy. It is a throw in favor of Samartex Ladies. Jennifer Aka. Ball intercepted by Brefi. Throw in favor of Samartex. Jennifer Aka. Confasian with a long drive. Looking for calling process. Let me see. Long drive. Good save by the goalkeeper. Timely save by the goalkeeper, Dinah. Maramu. Mararimu doing so well on that occasion. Samartex. Patience Agete. For Army Ladies, such a long drive. Finds Siao Comfort. Comfort Siao. Being confronted by Salamatu Mohammed. Comfort Siao. It is a free kick in favor of Army Ladies. Harriet Akoko Agete was brought down. And so we're going to do 2 minutes of additional time. We've exhausted the time for the 5 minutes. We are doing 2 minutes of additional time in this very game. Samartex Ladies 0. Army Ladies 1. Goal scored by Alamisi Atampaga. Kindly, it is a free kick in favor of Army Ladies in a very vital area. And I can see Esther Samoyadom behind the ball, ready to defend the free kick. Are we going to see another goal in this very game? Can Army Ladies register the second goal? Free kick at a very, very advantageous position. Esther Buako with a long drive, and that was too much. A poor ball on the part of Esther Asamoah-Yadom. Samartex will try to launch another attack before recess. Samartex, Catherine, she has been fouled. Free kick in favor of Samartex Ladies in their own half. Samartex Ladies in their own half. A long drive. Akoko. And a first yellow card has been flashed to the skipper of Samartex Ladies, Salamatu Mohammed. Salamatu Mohammed is the top corner, is in the top corner of the referee, the top packet of the referee. Salamatu Mohammed is in the top packet of the referee. She has been flashed the yellow card, and I can see a goalkeeper, the goalkeeper for Army Ladies down the playing surface. Esther Sapon is down the playing surface, and she's being attended to by the medical team of Army Ladies. Semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup. It is Samartex Ladies versus Army Ladies. We are done with the first 45 minutes. We are left with just a minute for referee Adukwe Rejoice to end the first half. It is Army Ladies who are leading Samartex by by a long goal. And so Samartex Ladies are trailing at this juncture. Abrefi finds a collecting the process. Naomi Duku says a long one. Harriet Akoko Ajete with a header by goalkeeper. Naomi will grab that one, and there goes the referee's whistle for the end of the first half. It has been a great first half, full of intensity. An amazing spectacle. The two teams playing according to where we have started. Samartex making their intentions very, very clear in the first 20 minutes of the game. But it was a different story after the first 20 minutes. Army Ladies came into the picture. They dictated the pace of the game, played so well, swung their passes together very well. And tell you what, they managed to profit from that. They got a goal, and that's the goal separating both sides. And so we are done with the first 45 minutes in this very game. It is Army Ladies who are leading Samartex by a long goal. Courtesy an amazing header by Alamisi Atampaga. And so we are done with the first half. It is Samartex Ladies 0, Army Ladies 1. The first semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It has been a friendly hostilities, an amazing spectacle, great weather, fans here in their numbers to support. Coach Yusuf Basigi, the manager of Samartex, will have a lot of questions to answer at the dressing room, and we're hoping to see Samartex back in confidence. But tell you what, this very first half, Army Ladies have done so well. Very compact at the back, very dangerous when they're attacking, and very composed in the middle. They've got a total team. Samartex are having a real test this very afternoon. So that's the end of the first half. It is recess at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. Semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup. It is Samartex 0, Army Ladies 1. We're going to come back in a jiffy with the second department of the game. Thank you so much. See you later. Yeah, that's it. Kafro, let me hear you can create me to pick up on. Maybe me who you didn't. You better see what you know. Also, per amount. And so, I don't maybe so say I know okay budget is share me and I'm maybe so say I know cars were 1,000. $6 a day. And for how many weeks? 12 days. Okay, Marty Bra. Maybe I show Marty. That's all right. I eventually I'll update you. May update you. Why? Marty Bra, you say. encounter. We are about to witness the second department of the game. Samartex are now going to play from Abra end of the Cape Coast Stadium pitch to the Kakomodu end of the pitch. Samartex already on the playing surface, stretching for the second half, and I can see Army Ladies now approaching the playing surface. It was a pulsating first 45 minutes. We are in for another intriguing second 45 minutes. And tell you what, it promises to be a great game this very afternoon at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. After this game, at exactly 4 p.m., the second semi-final game will be coming off. And that is going to be between Jomina Ladies and then Hazaka Ladies. Another map to watch the counter. Referee Joyce Adukwe being assisted by Doris Esumandako, Adwejewa, Olivia Dodu Bedua, the fourth official, and then Christian Engonam Ziga, the fourth official for this very game. If you just join us, welcome to the Asian capital, Cape Coast. It is the Women's FA Cup semi-finals. We are about to witness the second department of the game. Samartex Ladies qualifying for the semi-finals. By beating Harsport Ladies by 3-0 in the round of 64. Getting a walkover over Wisdom Ladies in the round of 32. Beating Roots Ladies by 2-0 in the round of 16. And then in the quarterfinals defeating FC Savannah on penalties after the entire game ended in a 1-1 draw. Samartex managed to win by 4-3 on penalties, qualifying for the semi-finals of the competition. On the part of Army Ladies, they managed to beat Besser Ladies by 10-0 in the round of 64. Winning by 3-1 against Valued Ladies in the round of 32. And then winning by 3-2 against Sisamba Ladies. And then in the quarterfinals, they managed to beat Tamale Super Ladies by 4-0. That should tell you that both sides can play so well and score more goals. We witnessed just a goal in the first half, and we're hoping to see more goals in the second half of this very game. Game underway. An infringement in favor of Army Ladies. Zinatu Al-Hassan. An infringement in favor of Samartex to be affected by their skipper, Salamatu Al-Hassan. Sends a long drive. A header. Alamisi. Referee say play must continue, and this is Samartex moving. Samartex. And a great piece of defending by Adam Hassan. Army Ladies will finally clear their lines. Showing in favor of Army Ladies in their own half to be affected by Adam Hassan. Very, very effective at the back for Army Ladies. With some amazing kicks. Very formidable at the back for Army Ladies. And he wins another throw in the process. Adama Al Hassan. Very, very effective right back for Army Ladies. An opportunity for Army Ladies. An opportunity. Al Hassan Samatu will clear her lines for Samartex Ladies. Was a danger move, but she does so well. Army Ladies very, very, very dangerous whenever they are attacking. They are very swift on the ball. Their transitions are very quick. Samartex nearly got punished. And look at that. A great pass. Goalkeeper was totally beaten. Wonderful recovery by the skipper of Samartex, Salamatu Mohammed. Throw-in quickly affected by Samartex. Ball rolls over the touchline. It is a throw-in to be affected by Adama Hassan. Adama Hassan throws a long one. Finds a colleague in the process. Ball taken by Samartex. Ajua Elizabeth finds a colleague in the process. This is Blessing Fusueje. Blessing fast Adam Al Hassan. An infringement in favor of Samartex Ladies. Salamatu Al Hassan, the skipper of Samartex, has been so instrumental at the back for Samartex this very afternoon. Says the shortest one, finds a colleague in the process. This is Jennifer Aka. Aka says a long one, and goalkeeper Esther Sapon was there at the right time for Army Ladies, grabbing the ball comfortably. Esther says a long drive. Dinah Marariumu, Samartex. It is an offside. It is an offside advantage. Army Ladies, that was a very sweet move. It was all castrated by Jennifer Aka, but Sandra Koto was marginally offside. Army Ladies with opportunity, long drive. And goalkeeper failed to get a full blast on the ball, but finally she managed to grasp it. Samartex moving. Samartex to nobody in particular, and Army Ladies will take the first to attack. See how Comfort was brought down, and so it is an infringement in favor of Army Ladies in their own half. See how Comfort very, very energetic, very efficient. She has been so instrumental for Army Ladies so far. Her ability to run with the ball has been one of the weapons of Army Ladies in this very game. Siao Comfort. Comfort Siao. An infringement in favor of Samartex Ladies, to be affected by goalkeeper Dinah Maramo. Samartex, Salamatu Mohammed, the skipper, finds a colleague in the process. Referee whistles for an infringement in favor of Salamatu. Abigail Akwete. Akwete with the ball. Akwete finds a colleague in the process. Ball cleared. Throwing in favor of Army Ladies. Halfway their own area. Zinatu Coach Yusuf Basigi, very frustrated this very afternoon. He looks like a frustrated man. Zanatu shot this one, finds a colleague in the process. Zanatu with a long drive, looking for Lamisi. A did battle, and finally Samartex will clear the line. Salamatu with a long drive, looking for a colleague in the process. Angelica. And finally, Amelides wins an infringement in the process. If you just join us, this is the semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup between Samartex ladies and then Army ladies. It is Army ladies who are leading Samartex by a long goal. Currently a strike for Alamisi at Tampaga in the first half. It was a header. Corner kick well corrected by Alamisi, thereby registering the first goal for Army ladies. Zanatu. Atabefi. With a strike and goalkeeper. That was a great strike by Esther Asamoah Yadom. A great strike and equally good save by goalkeeper Dinah Marabu. Ladies once again. Zanatu finds, and she finds a solace in her goalkeeper Esther Sapon. Sapon sends a long one to nobody in particular. The ball rolls majestically over the touchline, throwing in favor of Samartex. Abigail Akwete. An infringement in favor of Army ladies, of Samartex rather. Aduma Elizabeth was brought down. She was heckled, and so referee adjudged that one to be a free kick in favor of Samartex and to be affected by Salamatu Mohammed. Salamatu. She has been so instrumental for Samartex this very afternoon. Samartex will shot this one. An opportunity for Army ladies, ball cleared by Zanatu. Atabefi. Abrefi sends the ball to touch, throwing in favor of Samartex. Dokasinso. Nancy Opoku. That was a silly tackle. And referee adjudged that one to be a free kick in favor of Army ladies. It was a very late tackle. And that is spot on by the referee. Atabrefi. Back to Atabrefi. For Army ladies. Finds a colleague in the process. Army ladies trying to dish another attack. There they go. A long drive into the area of Samartex. A big boot, ball cleared. Ball inside the center circle. This is Army ladies. Zanatu Hassan sends a long one. Looking for a colleague in the process. Ball cleared by Hassan Mohammed for Samartex. A heavy touch. And the Army ladies regain possession. Army ladies very comfortable at the back. A long drive. That's the opportunity for Army ladies. Are we going to see another goal? A strike against the woodwork. Finally cleared by Salamatu. That was a great opportunity for Army ladies to register the second goal. The defenders of Samartex were kept ball watching, and tell you what, they were saved by the woodwork. Another yellow card. This time around going against the player sporting number 21 jersey for Army Ladies. Naomi Duku. In the first half, we registered one yellow card. That went to the skipper of Samartex, Salamatu Muhammad. And this time around, it is going against the player of Army Ladies. That's Duku Naomi. Free kick in favor of Samartex. This is Salamatu Muhammad. Salamatu sends a long drive. Looking for a colleague in the process. Header. Ball cleared. And that is going to be an infringement in favor of Army Ladies in their own half. Confucian. She was heckled on that occasion. A referee adjudged that one to be a free kick in favor of Army Ladies. And that was the ball once again. A great strike. Goalkeeper totally beaten. And she was saved by the woodwork. She was saved by the upright. It was a clear strike. Samartex were lucky at that moment. Samartex moving. Samartex. Great play. Over elaboration on her part. Ball taken away by Samartex, but still Samartex with the possession. McLean finds a colleague in the process. This is Samartex moving. Samartex. A long strike. An opportunity. How can we miss this opportunity? My goodness. Army Ladies has been left off the hook. They've been left off the hook. That was a great opportunity for Samartex to draw level in this very game. Samartex. There they go once again. Samartex. Another opportunity. A strike. A good Samartex goalkeeper. Esther Sapon. Danger still looming in the 8-yard box of Army Ladies. A strike. It is a corner kick. Samartex playing a game of their life, piling enormous pressure on Army Ladies at this juncture. What a game. Look at that. That's an opportunity. A great strike, great save by goalkeeper Esther Sapon. Frida Mano was denied by goalkeeper in post for Army Ladies. Esther Sapon. A long drive. Opportunity. It is the goal! Samartex Ladies. Samartex Ladies with an equalizer. Samartex with an equalizer. What a header. My goodness. That is the equalizer. Alex Judgewell. Ibinabo, Alex Godwill with the equalizer for Samartex Ladies. And look at that. That was a great header. Goalkeeper totally beaten. It was a corner kick. Beautiful taking. The goalkeeper totally beaten. And what a header by Alex Judgewell. Great header. And the story is different at Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It is Samartex Ladies 1, Army Ladies 1. What a semi-final. Samartex, they are now in a picture. Army Ladies stay with the ball. Abrefi sends a long one. Looking for a colleague in the process. Finds Zanatu. Zanatu sends a long strike. Ball clear by Salamatu Muhammad. Ball inside the center circle. Pass read by Army Ladies. Zanatu with a drive looking for a colleague in the process. Nancy Opoku was fouled. And so a free kick in favor of Army Ladies, and referee is going to issue another yellow card. That was a heckling. And so the yellow card's been flashed. Army Ladies ready to effect another substitution. I can see player spotting number 17 jersey. Efia Bwedu Chumwa has been introduced into the game, and she's taking the place of Atabrefi. And so Atabrefi out, Efia Bwedu Chumwa in, free kick in favor of Army Ladies. Are they going to take the lead once again? Free kick at a very, very advantageous position, and I can see Samartex forming a 4-man human wall, a 4-woman human wall. Free kick for them, a long drive. It's a goal! My goodness, what a goal! What a strike! What a strike! An amazing strike by our standard. What a strike! Oh my word! Army Ladies are back in the lead. Great goal by Zanatu Hassan. An amazing strike, and look at that, Zanatu, a great strike, and goalkeeper totally beaten. She was very late to that incident, and the power behind the ball was too much for the goalkeeper, Zanatu Hassan. What a strike! And that is the second goal of Army Ladies. And so tell you what, it is Army Ladies who are leading Samartex by 2-1 in this very semi-final. 2 goals recorded so far in the second half. An amazing game so far. If you just joined, it is a semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. Army Ladies against Samartex Ladies. And kindly, it is Samartex who are down by 2-1. Samartex are down by 2-1. Samartex with an opportunity. Ball well created. Al Hassan will send the ball to safety. Throw in favor of Army Ladies, who are leading by 2-1. Yusuf Basigi, the manager of Samartex, in a wonderland. Samartex. Frida Mano. Now the turn of Army Ladies. Al Hassan. And this is an opportunity for Army Ladies. Another opportunity. Great job done by Samartex at the back. Lamisi, ball taken away from her. And this Samartex is moving. Samartex. An amazing interception. Sandra. An infringement in favor of Samartex. In favor of Army Ladies in the area of Samartex, in their own half. That was a clear foul on the part of Samartex. Samartex Ladies. Boys in the center circle. An infringement in favor of Army Ladies. And it looks like for now they've succeeded in controlling the game, stopping Samartex from making their Dangerous runs. Ladies once again inside the 18-yard box. Timely intervention. That was a good tackle. And so it is another corner kick for Ladies. It was a good work by Efia Buedu Chumwa. Corner kick to be affected by Ladies, who are leading Samartex by 2-0, 2-1. I beg your pardon. A shot is one, ball cleared by Samartex Ladies. And the ball goes to touch. Throwing to be affected by Samartex. It's rather Ladies. And I can see a player of Ladies down on the playing surface. The chap spotting the number 21 jersey. Naomi is down on the playing surface and should be attended to by the medical team of Ladies. That was a goal once again. A beautiful strike, a great header by Zanatu Hassan. It was a great strike, wonderful free kick by Zanatu. Expertly taken, securing the second goal and the lead for Ladies. It's a cooling break at this juncture at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. The two teams are going to have the opportunity to refresh and get some instruction for their managers. Ladies on top, leading by 2-1 at this juncture. It has been a friendly hostilities, an amazing spectacle, great game by our standard. With Ladies fairly on top in terms of transition and composure. That was the goal. The equalizer by Samartex. Samartex kindly on your screens. Then also Ladies. It is cooling break. The weather is very, very conducive for association football at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. Quality pitch. And a few fans here having an amazing time. At exactly 4 p.m. it's going to be the turn of Jomina Ladies, then also Hazakas Ladies. That will be the second semi-final game. Yusuf Basigi issued some instructions to his charges. Talking to goalkeeper Dinah. Basigi, very experienced manager when it comes to women's football. And tell you what, the goalkeeper of Ladies has done so well, Esther Sapon. She has made some spectacular saves, keeping Ladies in this very game. Esther Sapon, very, very agile in the goalpost for Ladies. And so trying to be affected by Ladies, quickly affected. It is another infringement in favor of Ladies, and gradually they are digging deeper into the area of Hazakas Ladies. A long throw. Ball intercepted. Ladies with a clearance. Ball is at the center circle. Adam Hassan. Ahead of Salamatu. Zanatu with an opportunity. Zanatu moving. This is Ladies, another opportunity. Zanatu finally whistles back. Finds a colleague in the process. Back to Zanatu. Zanatu sends a long one. Straight to the goalkeeper. Dinah. Imposed for Samartex. Sends a long one. This is Adama. Adama finds a colleague in the process. Enima looking for support. Finds a colleague. A great defending by Salamatu Muhammad for Samartex. Salamatu scoring fullbacks on that occasion. And tell you what, she has been a stabbing block at the back for Samartex ladies. Very, very effective. Salamatu Muhammad, the skipper for Samartex, preventing Army ladies from getting more goals in this very game. Lucy. Samartex. Army ladies. Ball cleared. Another opportunity for Army ladies. Army ladies still in possession. Army ladies. And that was too much. It was a heavy touch. The ball goes majestically over the touchline, throwing in favor of Samartex ladies. Aduma Elizabeth finds Zanatu. Zanatu loses possession. Ball cleared by Army ladies. A great move and opportunity. Zanatu finds a colleague in the process. An opportunity for Army ladies. An opportunity. Good save by the goalkeeper. It was a good save by goalkeeper Dinah. In goal post for Samartex. And Samartex will take defense to attack. Finally cleared. Adam Hassan finds Zanatu inside the center circle for Army ladies. Switches play. Finds a colleague in the process. This is Army ladies stringing their passes together. Azaka ladies inside the center circle, moving right now, approaching the area of Army ladies. But Zanatu recovers beautifully. Finally, she loses possession, and this is Samartex ladies. Samartex, there they go. Samartex, a long strike, an opportunity. It's a penalty. It is a penalty. It is a penalty. It is a penalty in favor of Samartex ladies. It is a penalty in favor of Samartex ladies. And so penalty in favor of Samartex ladies. Are we going to see the leveler? Are we going to see the equalizer in this very game? Penalty to be taken by Samartex. Goalkeeper Esther Sapon in goal post. Zakaria Razak Abdul. Zanira Abdul Razak versus goalkeeper penalty in favor of Samartex ladies. There goes the referee whistle, and she misses. She misses. Catherine Alta missing a glorious opportunity to get the leveler for Samartex ladies. Look at that. That was a poor kick on the part of Catherine Alta. And so the story is still the same at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It is still Army ladies 2, Samartex ladies 1. It was a penalty in favor of Samartex, but that was criminally wasted by Catherine Alta. And so the story is still the same at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium. It is Army ladies who are leading Samartex by 2-1 in this very encounter. Penalty criminally wasted by Catherine Alta. It was a glorious opportunity, and look at that once again. The goalkeeper had the direction all right, but that was to some extent a misdirected kick by Catherine Alta. Samartex will find another substitution. I can see the player spotting number 25 jersey ready to grace the occasion. Dorcas Inso, and Dorcas is on. Mary Kwasie is out, and her position has been taken by Dorcas Inso. Throwing in favor of Samartex. Amilidis. Samartex. Abigail Akwete. Ball taken away from her. Esther Samoa. She wins a throw in the process. Adama Hassan has been very instrumental for Army Ladies this very afternoon. Very efficient, very physical, and productive at the right back for Army Ladies. Since the shortest one finds a colleague in the process. Esther Abuako, ball taken away from Abuako. Army Ladies still in possession, an opportunity, a long strike, and that's a feeble one. Goalkeeper Diana will grab that one for Samartex Ladies. If you just joined, it is the semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup involving Samartex Ladies and Army Ladies. And for now, it is Samartex who are down by 2-1. They had an opportunity to draw level from the spot, but unfortunately, that opportunity was wasted by Catherine Arthur, leaving the score Samartex 1, Army Ladies 2. Nancy Opoku finds a colleague in the process. This is Army Ladies moving. And the final touch was poor, and so goalkeeper will grab that one for Samartex. He advertises a long one. Ball inside the center circle. George Whale dispossessed, and this is Zanatu. Zanatu finds a colleague in the process. Patience Ajete to a colleague. This is Army Ladies. And finally, an opportunity for Army Ladies. It was a blunder opportunity, and that's a goal! That is the third goal. That is the third goal for Army Ladies. Esther Asamoah Yadom. It is full of joy and ecstasy at a camp. And look at that one. Salamatu Muhammad loosen it, and finally the ball spotted in the twine. It was rather Linda Achia. Linda Achia with a wonderful skill, slotting the ball into the twine, registered the third goal for the Army Ladies. Salamatu Al Hassan totally beaten, and what a goal on the part of Linda Achia. The story is changing. The script is expanding. A different story here. Tell you what, it is Army Ladies who are leading Samartex by 3-1. Army Ladies still pushing. I told you, look in their script, how they managed to qualify for the semi-final stage. It was very clear that they are a team that loves to score. And for now, Samartex already have 3 goals in their basket, pulling one back. And so it's 3-1 in favor of Army Ladies. This is Achia. Salamatu had the blunder. This is an opportunity for Army Ladies. Well read. Army Ladies are now having a full picture of this very game with a total dominance, playing so well, dominating the midfield with some incisive runs in the vital area of Samartex. Samartex, after missing that penalty, that glorious opportunity to draw level, they are now have their backs at the wall. There is a temporary hold up. I can see a player of Army Ladies down the playing surface. Then also a player of Samartex Ladies. And so it is a temporary hold up, and that's the goal once again. Linda Chia, beautiful work, great strike, managed to slot the ball majestically into the net, and that was the third goal for Samartex. Look at that. Amazing skill, phenomenal player. What a goal. An amazing celebration. Linda Chia, the goal-getter for Army Ladies, and you can see the bench of Samartex very frustrated. Coach Yusuf Basigi, he's not comfortable this afternoon at all. He has been beaten by 3-1. I'm wondering what is going through his mind at this juncture. It's going to be a drop ball. Referee Joyce Adokwe will drop that one. Ball dropped. Army Ladies in possession. Al Hassan, Echa, Al Hassan once again. Ajete, such a long one, a header. Zanatu. Army Ladies still in possession. Echa, another opportunity. And this time around, goalkeeper will save that one for Samartex. She was there at the right time. And Samartex will try to turn the first to attack. Samartex Ladies. Aduma Elizabeth. Back to Aduma. She has been dispossessed. The referee will get that one to be an infringement in favor of Army Ladies. It is an infringement in favor of Army Ladies, who are leading by 3-1 against Samartex Ladies. This is the Asian capital, Cape Coast. It is the semi-final game of the Women's FA Cup involving Samartex Ladies, then also Army Ladies. And Aziz Chancha, it is Army Ladies who are leading by 3-1 in this very fixture. At exactly 4 p.m. it's going to be the turn of Jomina Ladies and then Hazaka Ladies. I can see Army Ladies ready to effect another substitution. Free kick in favor of Army Ladies. Long drive. A header. An opportunity. There is a goal. Another goal for Army Ladies. Defenders of Samartex were kept ball watching. Blessing for Swajay. Blessing for Swajay has managed to make it 4 for Army Ladies. Samartex living in a wonderland. And look at that one. Miscommunication between the defenders. And that was OJJ. He managed to slot the ball majestically into the net. Miscommunication between Hassan and the colleague in the process. And Jay was there at the right time. Blessing for Swajay, making it 4 for Army Ladies. The story is getting difficult and very complex for Samartex. Substitution coming the way of Samartex Ladies. Substitution coming the way of Samartex Ladies. It is rather Army Ladies Mariama Foriwa. Mariama Foriwa has been introduced to the game, and she's taking the position of Foriwa. Samartex. Down on trouble goalkeeper Esther Sapon goal post for Army Ladies. There is a welcome goal kick. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an intriguing game. Total dominance by Army Ladies at this juncture, scoring 4. This second half, they've been very, very dominant. Everything has been working for them. Samartex in the wonderland. Samartex moving once again. Army Ladies. It is an attacking throw in favor of Army Ladies. Army Ladies. Adama Hassan. Janatu. Ball taken away for Janatu. Aduma Elizabeth finds a colleague in the process. Long drive to nobody in particular. Goalkeeper Esther Sapon will weather the storm for Army Ladies. Esther, who was very, very effective in the first half, denying Samartex a lot of goal scoring opportunities. She made some crucial saves in the first half, keeping Army Ladies in the game, and it responded perfectly in the second half. Perfect response for Army Ladies, and for now they are in a gallant lead, leading by 4 goals to 1 against Samartex. Samartex. Aduma Elizabeth. Achia looking for Blessing. Blessing for Janatu. Ball taken out for Janatu. Aduma Elizabeth. Adama. Al-Hassan. Prince Ajete. Throwing in favor of Samartex. It is rather an infringement, free kick in favor of Samartex, who are down by 4 goals to 1. A long drive by Samartex, the header. Jennifer Arthur. And Army Ladies will finally clear their lines. Adamo is in the process. This is Blessing to Zanatu. She damaged, beautiful. Finds Ajete to a colleague in the process. This is Army Ladies swinging their passes together. And attack breaks down. Boys at the center circle. Samartex trying to initiate another attack. Jennifer Aka has been spotted offside on that occasion, and so it's an infringement in favor of Army Ladies, who are leading by 4 goals to 1. Basically, it's a field day for Army Ladies. Adam Al-Hassan. Adama to a colleague in the process. Army Ladies moving. Al-Hassan Mohammed. Another miscue on the part of Al-Hassan Mohammed. And that is a free kick. I don't know, Al-Hassan Mohammed, the skipper for Samartex. She had a great first half, but unfortunately, she's finding things very, very tough in the second half, giving some glorious opportunities to Army Ladies. She has been indecisive in the second half, and that has been the bane of Samartex. The skipper who did so well in the first half is struggling in the second half. Another free kick for Army Ladies. I can see Zanatu and Naomi Duku. Is it going to be Zanatu or Naomi Duku? Naomi against the human wall. A strike. Goalkeeper loses that one opportunity. It is a goal. That is another goal for Army Ladies. And this time around, it is Efia Buendu Chumwa. Efia Buendu Chumwa. It is a 6-goal trailer. Army Ladies 5. Samartex 1. Efia Buendu Chumwa. Samartex Ladies in Wonderland struggle against Giants will be beaten by 5-1. It's a field day for Army Ladies. Army Ladies playing so well, riding higher in this very game. Army Ladies moving. She did so well. Sets a long one. Looking for a colleague in the process. Army Ladies still knocking on the doors of Samartex. This is Achia. Achia Damis with a strike. With a strike. Ball clear by Salamatu. It is a corner kick in favor of Army Ladies. They are still pushing for more goals in this very game. This time around, it is a welcome goal kick for Samartex, who are down by 5-1 this very game. And that is the end of the game. Army Ladies are through to the finals of the Women's FA Cup. After beating Samartex by 5-1 in this very encounter. It has been an amazing spectacle. And so thank you so much for the audience. That's the end of the game involving Army Ladies and Samartex. It is the first semi-final game. It was an amazing spectacle. And tell you what, it's a clear indication of the fact that the game between Jomina Ladies and Hazakers is going to be interesting. And so we are done for this very game. It is Army Ladies who played so well in the first half. They managed to swing their passes together, came in struggling in the second half, and they managed to beat Samartex Ladies by 4-1. And so we are done in this very game. Thank you so much from commentary position. I'm Shadrach Nyako. And so at this juncture, I will link up for more updates on this very one. Thank you so much. Catch you for the game between Jomina Ladies and Hazakers Ladies. This is the semi-finals of the Women's FA Cup. Army Ladies 4, Samartex 1. Many thanks.
But okay. All right, so it's over here at the Cape Coast Stadium in the first semi-final clash between Army Ladies and FC Samartex Ladies. Army Ladies won 5-1 in the semi-final. They will be waiting for the final between Jonina and Jonina and Azakes Ladies. And so the final would be set by 6 p.m. today. I have the head coach of FC Samartex Ladies, and he lost by 5-1. Coach, a disappointing result.
Yes, it's very disappointing. This is not what we were expecting. But it happened in football. So it's a one-off match. So we are out, and we'll go home and concentrate on the league.
Coach, in the first half, you played extremely well, holding on the Army Ladies team. What really went wrong in the second half?
We went off after missing the penalty. They just went off completely after missing the penalty. And certain times it happened to players, and you cannot control it again. So it's football, and it's a lesson learned through it. So we'll go home and we'll prepare for next season FA Cup.
But would you say that Army Ladies actually had the antidote of your defense in the second half? They were able to map a strategy to break your defensive line?
I will not say so. We rather give them the opportunity. We made some few mistakes that give them the advantage. Because when you look at most of the goals, it's just a gift to Army. It was not through their effort. They scored. But when you look at it football-wise, it was a little mistake that we did that they capitalized on it.
Coach, are you going to now focus on the Premier League? Now you have to look for a very good position with your club this season.
Sure, that's what we have now. We are out of the FA Cup, and we just have to concentrate on the league.
Wishing you all the best, coach. Thank you. So that's the head coach of FC Samartex Ladies. I have the head coach of Army Ladies. He is joining us for the post-match. It's side one, and good results in the second half. Your team played extremely well. The first half, it was a difficult encounter.
As you know, the game is always decided by 90 minutes. You won't get the first half tactically well, but when you go into the dressing room, you decide with your technical team and you reshape certain decisions, and it will help you in your second half.
In the first half, what made the game really difficult for Army Ladies?
In the first half, we analyzed how Samartex played by previous games, but I realized today they changed it a bit, shifting about the back four and two of their midfielders and creating more compact in the game.
Their coach made emphasis that at a point they were just gifting the goals. Would you say it was a tactical approach to break their defensive line?
Yes, he gave the point that they are gifting the goal, but in the game of football, you have to also know that there's space and time. So we looked at it and we tried creating the space, we utilized the time, and we got all our goals from it.
You are in the final, and you'll be meeting the winner between Jonina and Hazakes Ladies. Are you prepared for the big clash?
And we are prepared for anybody in this game because the two teams we are going to play with in the final, any of them are very good. Playing against Hazakes maybe in the final is going to be a tough match. Playing against Jonina is going to be a tough match. But we'll go into our drawing board. Tactically, we'll work on whatever we have to work on and see our outcome in the final. Surely Army Ladies will be victors.
You are winning the trophy.
Sure.
All right, that's the head coach of Army Ladies. The best player will join us here and spotted in JC number 29. Good game for you. Not a more than first half, no. Second half, move be more strong.
First half, no, na munya de my yenya chances ni na but enti me make good use of the chances. Enti I think you could dressing room I buy no. Ana I gather and who try say be make good use of our chances na. Yet me edi nkuni mu.
Second half then echo ye ma na goals nkwan na motion.
I think on best say back more. nti ne awurani fa mfimfin no ne abo ato machi ne ana edi etimi wini eche goals ne bebre sa
Ubeka say more experience ne counting so much or game way.
Bebre county bebre e game way mu pa.
Well, and then I will catch Army fans no more G trophy with their amount because more train winner between Azakes and Jonina no. O catch mo say mo be G trophy with their amount.
Yeah, train omo nti di obe wini bia no. Yeah, G trophy ni di akwenti yeah train di obe wini na ene omo hia. Say na me o kaka.
All right. That's the best player of the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Until at 4 p.m. we'll be doing the second game and that is a fixture between